So one of the things I wanted to talk about in this, and we're going to go through quite a few examples and options for advertising and researching advertising and creating banner ads. That's the focus for today. But one of the things I wanted to talk about was the advertisement I did on my website while I was gone. It's actually running through. See if we can get back to it here. It's not going to stay, but I ran this when I left this weekend, Independence Day sale, and through this weekend. So it'll be running through the 9th, where I'm discounting the product there. And then I'll take that banner off. So anyway, that sale is going on. I did have had one of my YouTube and Facebook buddies make note of it and put it out to his followers. And so I did get a few sales from that. If we look at the orders, gosh, I can't even remember where. Maybe this is my reports here where I can see the sales. All right, let's change this to June 30th to July 6th. We'll do it that way. Okay. So $810 in sales. Products don't really matter for me here. And it looks like July 1st was the biggest day for sales there. And what was that, Friday? Probably Friday. So if we look at my stats here, I did have a bit of an increase Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in traffic there, I think. So that's when all of the activity was happening there for sales. And then Monday, new week starts, and I think things kind of dropped off there. No, we did. So we had one sale there. Monday we had a sale. Sunday, so not too bad. So anyway, I ran that. Okay, and that's current month, and then so that's my sales history. So I ran that. Or I'm still running that sale, but I didn't do a whole lot of advertising with it. I put it on my site because I was seeing traffic, 20 to 30 visitors a day, and I thought, well, let's see if we can entice them to come in. And then I had one of my friends there, like I say, from YouTube and Facebook. He posted about it. But one of the things I've really been thinking is I need to get out doing more banner ads and advertisements there. And so that's something that I wanted to show and talk about a little bit. So in the past, I've done some advertising, and let's look at this. If we do search here in my email, I can find some details perhaps. And this would have been probably back last year. I think I was talking to a lot of people when I was doing the Kickstarter. So let's try that. All right. Right there. So these are some of the sites that I advertised on or that I want to advertise on. So this was longrangehunting.com. So there's one site that I want to do, and I'll show you a list. So what I did is I went out and looked at some sites where I can do some promotions and ads, and so I've saved them in my bookmarks. So I have this big list of sites where I might want to advertise. And so, whoops, I must have clicked on a link there. It's interesting. So long range hunting, that's my my audience. That was pretty good, and I think that helped me in getting some traffic to my Kickstarter. So they've got banner placements like this one here, and then this one here. So they've got several different locations where you can do the ads. One in there, here, and here. And then I think they've got a forum where you can do it. The forums are really a good place, especially knife forums, seem to be a good place to run those kinds of ads. So that is something that we can look up. So you can look up just whatever your niche is, look up forums, blogs, websites. In fact, one of the things I have done before is I'll do a search on Google for top knife forums, for example, or top knife blogs or top knife sites, best knife forums, and we go in here to this silencer talk place, and see here we've got ads running. They've got some Google ads there, it looks like. They've got an advertiser there and an advertiser here. And so here we've got these guys talking about this. And blade forums, knife forums are a couple that I can look at. So I'll open those up and we'll check those out. And those may be the main that we have. There's a couple of them. Blade forums, knife forums. Okay, usual suspect. Usual suspect coming up again. Okay. And so then I can come in and let's go to this home page, because this is a forum itself that I can look at. And what I want to find out is if they have a contact, and I'm not seeing that. So I'd have to register on here in order to even talk to them. So it's something that I could do, but we'll do that later. So we'll save this one in my bookmarks, and we want to save this under promotional sites so we can get back to that later. All right, blade forums is one that came up here actually, so we can close that one there. And so some of these I'm probably signed up with and just haven't done much with them. So we'll check this out. Yep, welcome to Blade Forums. So I am there. So I can grab my username here. I can come in and log in. Looks like I'm saved. Password and everything saved. So one of the first things we want to do is look at the sites where we want to advertise and see what types of banners, what size banners they have. So we can see this square or square-ish version there is pretty common, and then the longer rectangular side was another one here. Oh, interesting. Blade mag, knife forms no longer available. And don't even know when that was updated. Knives, blogs, featured knives, knife making, collecting, subscribe. Let's go to knives. So blademag.com might be a place where I can advertise. They've obviously got some advertisements going on here. With this company here, Blade Show's advertising. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this image. And I'm going to put this in my advertising marketing section. Let's see, images. Infographics and marketing. We'll do it there. Square banner template, we'll call that. So there's one. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, I've got a login with these guys too. So we can look at, and I think I have contacted them before too. All right, so validated. Where are we? There it is. And I don't see a lot of advertising here. We may have to go into the forum, I guess. Gear store. Interesting, and I'm not even. So I've seen it before where they have some banners, but I'm not seeing that there. All right, well, that site's down. Here's one of the searches I did that gives me a list of hunting sites that we can go to. Sorry, I'm not seeing this coming up. I thought I would see a lot more happening here on these sites, and I'm not pulling it up. Let's pull up some of my banners that I've created. So if we go in and look at that, hopefully I can find those. I haven't messed with this for a long time, so let's go. Oh, let's see, where are we? Marketing, example ads. So there we go. There are some. See if we can open all of those. So these were example ads that I found as I was researching and just seeing some of the banners that were out there. And so this gives me the sizes that they want generally for advertising. So this it's not an actual square. These are 300 by 250 is the dimensions of these squarish looking at ads. And that seems to be the common one that we're seeing, 300 by 250 on those. Then we've got the 728 by 90 that runs across the top of pages and stuff, 728 by 90. So these are pretty consistent sizes that you're going to see. Let's see if I have some other ones here. Okay. No, we're going to have to go back to my website folder and images, I think. Let's try marketing research. Nope. Advertising. How about that one? There we go. So here I have a bunch of actual blank templates and different sizes of things. So those are some of the ads that I did initially, and I feel like I could do a much better ad with things that nowadays. So, but this gives a few to look at. So we can let's pull up a few of these, a couple more. All right. So one of the things that makes a good banner, that when you're creating a banner ad, is we need something that's going to have some decent color to it. So notice the color that stands out here. We've got the red and orange that's really standing out. We've got a guy in the backwoods here, so we've got something that hunters are going to be interested in, right? This one, in fact, these two here, we've got their brand and logo right there. This is a competitor of mine, the Work Sharp, so this is another sharpening system. Notice they aren't showing the system necessarily. They're showing the knife that we want to have sharp, right? And so that's an interesting thing to look at. And you can gather some information by looking at competitors' ads out on other sites, so you can get an idea of how to create a good ad for you. They've done the work. They've probably paid somebody lots of money to create these banners and to do the research and create something that will work well. So this kind of a picture right there would be something that will work well. Out here, a sharp blade means survival. A sharp knife creates success. These are things that the knife catches people's attention. The logo is there, and then they've got some wording there to pull them in. Another approach, Cabela's here, clearance sale, save up to X amount. And that's something I could do, is put that out on a website and say, hey, we've got a clearance sale or something like that. This one here, they've got some. They've got a review quote here, and indicate who it is. Len Backus, publisher of Long Range Hunting. So we could look at something like that and find a testimonial about the product we want to advertise, and then put a picture of the product there or something. But again, look at the colors. The yellow and orange really stand out and grab people's attention on there. So what can I do with mine? Well, I do have some new images. Let's see if I can pull those up here. I actually canceled that, and let's do that, and let's pull up a couple of these because I'm going to have to move some of these over, I know, from my camera uploads. Right there. So we're going to take from that folder and move them over into we'll do images first, and then I've got some video that I'll pull over as well. There's one particular image that I'm thinking I'll use. It has some pretty good color. Let's see. We'll put them over here in June, July. In fact, no, I'm going to create a new folder. All right, because I got some good pictures here. So let's go see what I have. It is. I don't know why it's sorting like this. I just want to change the sort options. All right, because it looks like it's putting everything down at the bottom. Actually, it may not be uploading those. Is what it looks like. So I might have to upload a few of those. That's a bit of a bummer. All right, let's upload that here. It looks like my Dropbox hasn't been uploading, so I've got to refresh that and get it to upload again. There we go. Now they're coming in, so we'll have some new images. So I took a bunch of pictures for my website. Or for advertising, social pages and stuff, things like this with the knife in use and that kind of stuff. And then, of course, I've got some with the family there. So those will start uploading now that I've hit refresh, and hopefully we'll have them come up quick so that I can move them on over. This one we want to just put right there. We're going to copy those over. I thought these were all going to be sitting there for me, but my camera evidently battery saving decided to turn off my camera upload, and so I didn't get that automatically happening until I just turned it on here. So now I've got to wait for those to upload, and then I can find the one that I really wanted there. So anyway, we're going to have to wait for that, unfortunately. So I wanted to grab the image that I was hoping for. Oh, you know what? I may have put it over here. Let's see, right there. Where is it? No. Some of these might work, actually. All right, so let's get into just designing this, because that's really what I wanted to show you here, is doing some designing. So if we go, nope, I've got to move them. All right, where do we start? That one, that one, that one. So those right there. Into that folder. Right there. All right, so those I can open then. And there it is. That's the one I want right there. So one of the things I wanted to do was get some pictures with fish. And I actually caught a big enough fish to do some fillets. And so I filleted the fish there, and then took a picture of the knife that I used to fillet on top of the fish right there. Okay, so first thing I want to do is we want to clean this up and make it look nice and bright. So I'm going to go into auto color enhance first and just see what that does for me. That's going to make things a little deeper. Then I'm going to come into under colors in the toolbar. This is Gimp I'm using. Gimp is free through gimp.org. And I'm going to come into brightness and contrast, which is one that will often, that contrast, see that? Really brighten that up and give just a real nice contrasting picture there. Now this image is much bigger than, we're going to overwrite that, is much bigger than I'm going to need. This is a 57 megabyte image. Not sure how it got so huge, but it was saved as a high quality image. So 2500 by 1400 wide, we need to take that down to 300. And so I'm going to have to shrink that quite a bit. So let's do 250 on the height, so scale image, and we're going to do we're going to do 300 on that and scale it down. And then we can copy that out of there and paste it over onto this image. And then this we will say trout fillets, and I'm not sure why it is coming in like that. Change that to RGB. Okay, interesting. There we go. So my sample image was set. The mode was set to indexed, which makes it so that it's line art basically is all that it does. And RGB means color. Grayscale is just gray or black and white. So I changed it to make it work with the images I want to pull in. Now I'm going to come over here to the scale tool, and I'm going to click on this and scale it down just a little bit. And then I've got to click scale to finalize that. So that fits it a little bit better within that image there. I am going to put some text around this. So, and actually, let's reset that. I want to click this little link here. Having the chain linked means that when I scale this, it'll also scale this. It'll keep it in perspective. So, so now we want to scale that right there. And then I'm going to change to the move tool, and we're going to move that and place it right there. And all right, and then I want to do some text on here. And so I think what I want to do is fill that up. What does that do? That gives me a little white box that I can write in. So I think what I want to do is do a new layer. So I'm going to right click on my current layer here, and I'm going to go to new layer and say, okay, that's the same size as I currently have. It's on transparency. And so it's a transparent layer over the top of this one. And then I can come in here and I can create a section. So I can just, this is just the rectangle select tool that I've done to select a section there. And then I'm going to type something into that. So over here, I want to type in, no, I don't want to type in yet. I'm going to fill it. And we're going to fill with background color. My background color is white, so I change that to background. And it fills that rectangle. Then I can come with the text, and this is actually going to create a new layer over here once I start putting this text on. So sharp means success. I'm just going to do that. We're going to put that at a little bigger size. Move it a little bit. All right, and now I want to go and use a font here, do a different font. I kind of like this font idea, so I want to do something similar to that. And so I'm going to look at the fonts that I have installed. And they show examples of them here a little bit, and then I can click on it and it will put it up in there. So I can find a font that I like just by scrolling through them here. And then when you find something that you want to use consistently, you can always, remember the name of it. Of course, I'm not very good at that. I've used a lot of different fonts. So let's see. We are. Wow, makes me think I ought to delete some of these fonts. This is using whatever fonts are on my computer, and so it'll look at whatever fonts you have on your computer. So if you want different fonts, you can always install them and have pretty much any font you want. And I am not seeing what I want. Maybe it's up here at the top somewhere. So we'll start in the A's and go down. Not the most exciting topic today, is it? Oh, come on. Not the chalkboard. I'm thinking it's probably a... All right, that might work. Make it a little smaller. Okay. And you can always change this as long as you keep it as a font. Now I am actually going to be rotating this a little bit for what I want here, I think. All right, we're going to stick with that. So we can move this. I can try putting it on. So I could go up here and put that. Actually, let's do this. I want to do it as a... I'm going to get rid of this layer. I want to make it white, so I'm going to change the color. Okay, and all right, now I'm going to move this right there, and I'm going to rotate it. Now, as soon as I click rotate here, this is no longer going to be, whoops, rotate. This is going to stop this from being a editable text. So I rotate it to new layer. Okay, and then notice that it's blending in there. In fact, it also cuts some of that off. So I've got to fit canvas to layers. I can come back and cut it back down later. Actually, let's do this. Undo my changes. So since I moved that, that's okay. So what I need to do, it's only going to rotate what it can see. So we'll rotate it here. Something's not jiving. There, I needed to select all. I wasn't select on. I had just that one section selected. All right, so now we can rotate that. What I don't want is I don't want it to go off the screen and then not be seen. So we're going to make this a new layer, rotated words, and then I can click the move tool here and come and click on my text and drag that, put it right across my picture there. All right, and then what I can do is come into the, let's see, this layer right here. Let's delete that part, and so we've got a layer there where we can put something in there. So what I want is some darker colors. We'll come to this layer and we'll pull out maybe this, let's just go back to this brown color. So yeah, that'll work. So we click OK on that, and then we can take a brush here, and I can use any of these brush options. All right. And I've got that color, and we're going to go up to this layer. And just put that behind the words. So see how that makes those words stand out. There, sharp means success. Okay. Now, I've got a picture of the knife there on top of the fillets. Sharp means success. I've got some catchwords there. One thing I'm seeing is these words look a lot smaller than these, and that might not work the way I wanted. It may not capture their attention, so I can make that a little larger, perhaps do sharp right up here, and then mean success underneath it. Might be a little better way to do that. And so with that, I would have to create, let's see, have to create new text, I think. Edit. Okay, so there I have an option to edit. And I can enter down and then highlight all of that and put that to 35 font. Let's maybe even go to 38. I think that'll work. Fit canvas to layers. And then I'm going to rotate again. Rotate this layer. There we go. Well, you know what? I'm going to cancel that. I think I can do sharp bigger. I'm going to come back to that. We're going to do 45 on the sharp word, maybe even 50. Okay. Now we'll come back and rotate that about there, similar to what we had before. Name that layer. I will get rid of the other one there. Okay, and then we can position that where we want it. So it looks like it cut off my my S again. You got to pay attention to that. So I just did a Control A to highlight all, select all. Now rotate. Rotate that similar to what we had before. All right. Get rid of the smaller ones. Move this up, and I'm using using that white background there as my guide to where I have room. Okay, and then go down to this layer, and I think we're going to delete that and do that over again. There we go. And just put some color in there so it will, so my words will stand out. Okay. Now I might want to move this down just a little bit so we can see that knife blade. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste that. So we'll put that up at the top. All right, so now I've got two of those. What I'm going to do is just pull that back up here so it fills the screen, and then I'm going to use my eraser tool with a fuzzy and eraser, and I'm going to delete this one on top here so that the one underneath is the one being seen. Whoops, I don't want to delete that up there, so I want to delete. This one little trick that I've learned is don't drag and delete a whole bunch, but instead just click a little bit here and there to delete. So until you know that you've got clearance, you know. And that way, if I need to Control Z will undo what I just did. Then I'm only undoing a little bit. So there we go. Sharp means success. This is my original frame, I think, that I have. So let's see if we can move that up. No, we're good with the height. Okay, so this. So now I'm going to go into my crop tool, this little scalpel tool, and I'm going to line up with that side line right there and the top. I'm going to crop that. Now that should be 300 by 250, and I think I'm 1 pixel over on this side. So we'll come over here and pull that to 300 by 250. Go away, calendar. I'm working here. .300 by 250. And then to crop that, all I have to do is click in one of these little corners or edges there, and it's cropped. Okay. If that doesn't look like it's standing out enough, then I can darken that, and that's kind of what I'm feeling right now as I look at that. I don't think that's dark enough, so I would come in here and maybe put a darker brown on that, almost black. And let's go back and grab one of these fuzzy tools again. And I do like that better. And I like the dark contrast enough. I'm going to go ahead and fill the top of the this whole corner of the image. But I like to leave a little bit there because see, we've got that rustic fill, right? In fact, if I wanted to put more of that in there, I could take this brush, take a lighter color. What I actually want to do is go grab this color right there in the background here. Okay, and take my smaller brush and I want to throw some of that back in here. Let's see, that should go right here. So see, I can do, and actually I don't like that brush. Let's try this, a little bit less. There, just so that I can have a little bit of that lighter color coming through on there until you get something that you really like. Okay, and you can play with the font to decide what works well. And then the last touch that I'm going to put on here is I'm going to put my logo on there. So I've got to go open my logo. So, and then we'll be done with this image here. Let's see, that is. Where did I put those? It might be under here. And then remember where you're keeping everything. Logo, is that? Really ought to copy these over to the images folder. All right, that is the one that I like right there. So open that, copy that, paste it, logo. Okay, and then we're going to resize that. so it'll fit, and then move it. I think we'll put it right there. And then I'm going to do a little bit of an eraser here. Again, for that knife, so that the knife is standing out there. There we go. For my logo to stand out a little more, I might want to put a little bit of white color in there. In fact, I'm going to do a full white color on that. 50% opacity. And I'm just going to drag that in like that. So that that stands out a little better on top of there. Okay. So I don't know how well you can really see if that is, whether that's trout in a bag or not. I can move that image over a little bit, perhaps. Don't have a lot of room to move because I've got that knife in there that I want shown. But I could shrink it, perhaps, just a little bit. And there I'm seeing some of this other background stuff coming through. That one right there. There it is. All right. There we go. And then if I wanted to blend that, I could even take the eraser tool again and come in here and really make that stand out. So there I've got a banner that I can work with. Now, is it professional? No. Does it need a little more work? Yeah, probably could. I could learn from some of these that I'm seeing. They've got some green mountain background. I might be able to put something like that in there, perhaps as a better image. This looks a little dirty. It's not as clean as this one. Perhaps that can stand out better. Maybe I need darker images there. Maybe I just need some pictures. Take some trees because maybe that will look better. So I could do that. I could come in and pull one of my images of the lake that I took, perhaps, and there, I could take an image like that and throw that in the background. And so I can play around with it a little bit and see if I find something that I really want to have as my background there, to change that a little bit. So it takes a little bit of work and learning to do this, but can bring you can make your own banners and bring some pretty good results here. That's what I'm looking for right there. Something like that, I think, would be a good image. All right, so that one. What I need to do is just pull that over here, do a new blank image, and I can actually drag that image onto this canvas. And then I could take these trees in the background there and add those in. So I could just crop that. I could come in here and select the section that I want. There. Control C to copy that. Control V to paste. Name it. shrink it way down because it's way too big. Certainly need to scale that down. Move it back into the shot. Scale it down some more because I'm only needing that on that top half of the image there. And then what I want to do is mirror it. I want to flip it. So I'm going to go to this flip tool, flip it over so the trees are on the other side and the greenery on this side. And then I will move that right down over the top of that image. And I like that, but I think I actually want that a little bigger. So let's flip it first. Move it where I want it in the corner here. And then scale it. And again, we'll move that down. All right, and I kind of like that. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line to separate that. So we're going to go right here. So we have a nice even line instead of a choppy line. And I'm kind of following the outline of my words there. So what I did is I did a free selection tool, the little lasso tool there is highlighted, and press delete on that, and that deletes everything. And then if I want to make that a fuzzy, let's see, Control A to, so if I want to make that a little more of a fuzzy difference there, I can do that. Just like that. So there I've got my sharp means success. I've got the green trees there, which may need to move up a little bit actually. Grab that and we can move that up there. All right. So then I've got the sharp means success over the top of the green trees. And then if I wanted to edit that a little bit more, I could come in, take the green, dark green color there, go back to my brush tool, choose the color I want below it, and basically make some more greenery in here. There we go. And we can darken that up a little bit and do some more dark colors right here. So it's almost making a tree sort of in there. And we'll just put those colors wherever we want. Just like Bob Ross. Make a happy little tree, right? And fill that background in where we need it so that our words stand out the way we want them to. Okay. So there I've got a banner. Let's see. Let's save this. You can see what it will look like. If we export it, we'll save as and we'll put it in the marketing folder. And then we will export. We have to export it as a PNG or a JPG. And then we can open that exported file to see what it looks like. So that is our final image right there that we can go put up on sites. So takes some, it takes a little bit of work and playing with it to kind of get comfortable with things. If we wanted to, we could put a solid color behind that if we don't feel like that's standing out enough, and work with it a bit. But that gives you at least the beginnings of what it takes to do some banners for advertising. We'll talk about placement on those in a little bit. In another webinar, perhaps next week, I'll go through that. But I think what I'm going to do here is we're just going to fill that in with, oh, there's the problem. I had that opacity down lower, and I didn't have complete there. So I want to just try it with a completely dark. Oh, I've got to do that on the other one. Anyway, you get the idea. So I'm gonna finish this and let you guys go here tonight with this. And I had a few comments that I didn't notice here coming up. I'm sorry about that. Missed the questions. I didn't see them there earlier on. Are you writing over the image you copied? Yes. Generally, I'm creating text over some of the images. So I pasted the images in and then put text over it. I can move these layers anywhere I want them. So I can move those layers under the text, over the text, or what have you with that. So I hope that answers that question. All right. So thank you for joining with me tonight on this, and I hope to see you next week.